Hey everybody, welcome back to Visually Speaking. I am Kyle Martin and I'm also here with
your hostess with the mostest, Shawna Fitzgerald. And
today,
Diavione Johnson.
So today is going to be about Dee and her life and all of the nice little nuggets we're going to learn today as far as her life with her career as a photographer, as a graphic designer, and for some of you who do not know, she was once a veterinarian or pursuing veterinarian. Yeah. So we're gonna get into that. To preface, we always call this an interview. We always kind of set up like it's an interview, but we're really just sitting here talking, vibing, kicking it. So you can be as calm and collected and relaxed as you can. Whatever you give us, we'll give back. We do have a few questions, but we'll get to that when we get there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Definitely.
See, do you see how relaxed she got?
Yeah. She's like, oh, okay, cool.
All right. Let's get started.
Absolutely. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay. So I do have a question, but I kind of want to ask a question after you give us just a bit about yourself.
Okay.
So let's start there, and then we'll just run through it.
All right. Well, I was born in Raleigh, born and raised. Went to Garner High School. I ended up studying, while I was in high school, graphic design. I went to MSEN, the pre-college program at North Carolina State. Nice. So I was working with robotics and a whole bunch of other stuff that I really did enjoy, but it wasn't my passion. I ended up finding my passion once I started talking to my art professor, and she was like, you can really go far with this. Yeah. I was always told that, even whenever I was in elementary school. But I was like, I mean, it's not going to pay me too well, but it's a little hobby. Right. Yeah. Later on, I ended up realizing, hey, I can actually turn this into a whole career if I go visual, like visual communications, graphics, because technology is taking over the world.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
So did that, and I'm here. Just because someone told me I could take my art pretty far.
Nice. You know, going from veterinarian, because it said that you like animals.
Yes.
Love animals.
Yes.
I love animals too. Mm-hmm. But Lord knows I'm not touching no scalpel when it comes to being a vet or anything. I will love you. I will love an animal, and then if something's wrong, I'm taking it to a vet. I understand my place in life. Mm-hmm. But for you, and I can understand, because I also relate from going from a non-artsy career, coming to find out that's not what I wanted to do in life, and then having to kind of make that transition later. Talk to us about the transition. Like, how did you feel about it when it hit you the moment you decided to, the after effects, maybe like months later down the line, weeks later, years later? And my actual question to you was, were there any skills that you have kept as a veterinarian that you kind of adapted into your life as a designer and a photographer?
Okay. So veterinary medicine was my main thing going into school, because I loved animals. I had a cat since I was 2, and I was taking care of her. Like,
what's her name?
Aww. Her name was Sandy.
Sandy.
Aww. Yes. Aww. So she was a tortie, and I had her my whole life, basically. Okay. I would take care of her, cut her nails, everything, because my mom, she could do it because she was a nurse, but she was like, nah, I'm not about to get scratched. Okay. So I went through all that. Whenever I went over to family members' houses, I would take care of their animals as well, like just grooming their animals, and I just loved animals. But it's funny, I stopped loving veterinary medicine whenever it came to bugs. I realized that understood. You have to deal with the bugs too. Mm-hmm. Ticks, tarantulas, if they have fleas, if there happens to be some sort of bug on them, you are the one responsible for getting it off. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
A bug on a bug? A bug on a bug is crazy.
I'm not doing a bug on a bug. I'm not doing a bug.
And you had to learn that? And you learned that?
Oh no. I didn't go that far. Pardon me, but no. Once I learned that you have to deal with bugs, I'm out of here. Like, no.
It's a wrap.
Art it is. I'm doing that because
touch bugs.
No. On the side, I would, take care of animals, but no, I couldn't do that no more. No. And cows and the fleet, that's why I stopped that.
I got you.
But art was still my passion. I was always drawing, and the transition was pretty easy just because my dad, he was an artist.
Nice.
So my mom, she wasn't, but it kind of like passed down the line.
Yeah.
And it was just something that relaxed me. It brought me peace because in school I had my anxiety was so bad.
Oh, I believe it.
So I would just end up doodling or drawing on my free time. I would get in trouble a lot too, just because my teacher would be talking, I'm drawing.
Yeah. But
they started realizing, hey, this is how she copes. This is how she goes throughout school, and I'm still making A's.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Cool.
I'm an illustrator. I am a graphic designer. So that's where I put my art in play. And then with photography, that's also an art, which I love more than anything.
What do you mainly use for graphic design? What platform do you use?
I use Photoshop.
Okay. Was it easy to pick up?
Yes.
Very easy?
Very.
Nice.
I love it. It's just, Photoshop is changing. Yeah. They have AI and everything. Like, what in the world? I'm traditional, so I'm still gonna do it the way I was taught in school.
Look, I was raised traditionally when it came to working Photoshop and Illustrator, so I don't touch AI at all. At all. I actually tried it one time just to see, because you know how when you open the application and they give you like that little preview.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that looks kind of cool. Like, you just type in you just go in a little type box, say, hey, give me like a vase or something, and then a vase will pop out, and then I did that. And I was like, that's ugly. That's an ugly vase, bro. Get this out of here.
It's real distorted. Like
all of it's ugly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you have the floor because I see that we're gonna be here for quite a bit.
We might be. So, my question, as far as I'm gonna talk right now about just the photography part. So I noticed that you have different types of photography that you have, like portrait, headshots. You do animals as well. So with all those different types of photography, what is your favorite out of that?
It's actually event photography.
Really?
Yes. I like going to different events. Like if someone's having a birthday party or an after party for a wedding, I love taking those photos because I can catch them on their most natural, just authentic selves.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny you said that because that was going to be my next question too, was if you like still photography versus moving photography.
I like still photography more though.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's kind of like, I love events, but if it comes between moving and still, I'm going to go with the still.
Understood. Yes. Understood. Yeah.
I just love photography.
So are you more, you like using more, I know you mentioned about natural with the event. So are you more into using natural light or would you rather have the lighting and so forth?
I prefer natural light, but if I have to, I'll bring my lighting.
Yeah. Okay.
But I like some of everything. I do dabble in every single type of photography. Like if it comes to weddings, like I said, events, portraits, animals, baby, maternity, everything.
Yeah.
So that way it's, always open.
When you stepped into a new type of photography, how do you, I guess in a way, prepare yourself for that? When it comes to, okay, so I did this type of photography before. I know how to learn that. I worked it. I know how, basically if I get a gig involved in that, I know exactly what to do before I even have to research anything. So, but when you go into a new type of photography that you, I guess we can say hypothetically, you maybe done once or twice with somebody or you've never done it before. What will be your preparation process for that?
So instead of going online, I'll usually go to another photographer that I do know that specializes in that type of photography. That way I can ask for help. I'm willing to pay them. Most of the time they don't ask for pay.
Yeah.
It's because like I help them, they help me. I just have a little community that I go to.
Cool. So now we're getting into the traveling aspect, because I heard you say you like doing events.
Yes.
And I remember that your photography, I can say you want photography to be the number one career for you. Like photography basically pays their life, it pays the bills and whatnot.
Yeah.
So how has photography helped you travel wise up to this point?
So most of y'all know, for those who don't, I work with Together Is Everything. So I am Ty's photographer. And whenever I started working with him in college, I met him in, I believe, 2020.
Okay.
So when I started working with him, Together Was Everything was still getting up there. Mm-hmm. But we got to a point where we started traveling more. We went to New Orleans to work with an author, and I was taking photos during the entire time that she was promoting her book. Another time we traveled, it was still in North Carolina, but we worked with Big Steve's Waffles to take a few photos.
Wow.
It's been a couple times I just went different places in North Carolina. New Orleans was the biggest spot. Mm-hmm. And recently I went back just with my friend, took my camera and met so many different people, took some photos. And I didn't post those just because it was more like personal for them.
Yeah. But
it was the experience. I gave them something, made them smile. Nice. And that was enough for me.
Yeah.
How far out have you traveled? Like what's the furthest you've gone?
Furthest I've gone, the Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Wow. Yes.
For work purpose or just to be up there for both?
Yes.
How was that?
Now listen, it was my first time going out of the country, so I was already hyped.
Yeah.
But once I got there, it's just so surreal. It doesn't feel like I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm taking photos. I'm just living my life, getting a little drink here and there. It was amazing.
I bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I captured a lot of different photos. I ended up getting videos as well. I saw a octopus.
Nice.
Like, you know how clear the water is there?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the little thing go shoo, shoo, shoo. Like, it was pretty cute. Different colored fish, like the different people, they were just so friendly. I would ask first, hey, can I take a picture of you? Mm-hmm. And of course they're like, yeah. I love it. I just love it. I'm ready to travel so much more.
Nice.
Once I get my duckies up.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's one place that you would love to go to for photography?
Japan. And I also would love to go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Those are my top 2 places.
So in Japan, where in Japan, and when you get there, what's like the one thing you have to take a picture of? Like you cannot go back home until you get that shot.
Kyoto, Japan. And I would love to go wherever all of their trees are beautiful to me.
The cherry blossoms is crazy.
Yes.
Cherry blossoms are really beautiful.
They're beautiful. Yeah. The pink is just, but they also have, I don't remember what the name of the tree is, but it looks like a willow tree.
Okay.
If you've seen the willow trees here, but this one's like, it has different colors and I want to go see it. I just want to see it. I want to take pictures and just have it in my memory because, listen, you don't get that experience all the time.
You really don't.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to go. I just don't know when.
No, I believe it.
Yes.
Just speaking into existence.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
Listen, we may make a group trip to Japan one day.
Listen, I'm down.
Stay for that.
Y'all want a +1?
Let me get my passport and we be ready.
You don't have your passport?
I don't.
You gotta get that.
Trust and believe. It's coming soon. I'm getting it this year.
The passport is the number one thing.
That's definitely going to happen.
Traveling while black. Ooh.
Oh man, I love it. Traveling while black is such an experience.
Yeah.
Love it.
So much fun.
We can get a little off topic, but that's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
So, because you're also a graphic designer, you do a little bit of animation too.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So, I don't do it as much as I did before. While I was in college, I lost my passion.
Okay.
I think it's because my professors, they were just doing way too much. I went to North Carolina Central University, by the way. Okay, Eagle Pride.
Eagle Pride.
Don't do that. I lost my passion once I went to school because I was forced to do certain things.
Okay.
Instead of me just wanting to do it.
Yeah.
So once I got out, I stopped doing art as much as I did before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting back into that now. But I illustrated a book recently. Animation-wise, I haven't really touched it in a good minute.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also...
Animation's a lot.
It is.
Wow.
Just animating a ball took me, I don't know how long, like an hour.
How much rigging have you done just to animate that one ball? I went to school where animation was the major, and I made a lot of animation friends. And I sat in one of their not the classes because I don't want to be that guy, even though I was kind of that guy. We ain't gonna talk about that. But when I was sitting there with my friends and when I watched them do their homework, and I'm just like, what's the word? Being a fly on the wall, just to see how they do things. I'm like, you gotta explain this to me because I don't know how you did it. All he did was move the ball from here to here. That's it, and that took like at least like an hour or 30 minutes. Like,
wow.
Yeah, that's how it is.
I'll go back to my camera.
That's why I'm behind the camera right now. I just, it is a lot of work though.
It is.
Especially since people don't realize that a lot of people in art is also considered STEM.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of like what we work with the technology aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of us also have to program.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. And especially in college, whenever you're learning animation, like you said, one step takes about an hour.
Yeah.
Imagine there was nights where I would stay in the art department just working on stuff with two other of my friends.
Yeah.
Like we would stay in there overnight, wake up in the morning. Well, we wouldn't even go to sleep. We would just get up in the morning, look out, see the brightness, go get breakfast, come right back like zombies and work some more.
Go right back to work.
Wow. Right back. It was tedious, but it's something that I'm never going to forget just because it made me me. And it made me realize what I really love to do.
Yeah.
Which is photography.
So what would you say your skills, learning animation, learning graphic design, learning illustration, how has that assisted your skills as a photographer? And vice versa, because I know when you take pictures, you have to, take it back into the Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever and edit it. So how has being able to dabble in both sides elevate each other?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me clear my throat.
Come on now.
Me? Okay, so basically, whenever I was learning in school, because my concentration is visual communications.
Right.
But my major is art. So I dabbled in everything. So from just graphic design, I learned how to edit photos. Because I didn't take any photography classes in the beginning. It was just graphic design, animation, like typography.
Got it.
So from learning that stuff, that's how I got into Adobe. And I started playing with different stuff while I was in classes. Probably wasn't supposed to, but I was like messing with different things like, okay, I like this. If I took this photo instead of taking it from Google, this would have turned out better for me. I would have felt better. Like just playing with Photoshop and, messing with stuff. So then one day, whenever I was, making my classes, I realized that they had put a photography class on there.
Wow.
I didn't say anything to anybody. I wasn't supposed to be taking the class. My professor said, we can take this off. You just got to go to your advisor. You know what? It's a sign. I'm taking the class.
Yeah.
Took the class and I realized like I have so much experience in a lot of this already because of my eye. I'm doing this. I love this. Yeah. So whenever I edit my photos, I try to put graphic design in as well. Where if I have to add if I need to add some flowers in the background, or if I need to say, in graphic design, I learned how to get rid of stuff.
Right.
I would just look at the photo, realize, hey, there's a lot, I can get rid of that. Boop. without, learning from the photography class. Or I would learn how to make someone, I would enhance their beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to change anybody. Mm-hmm. That's one thing about my art that I'm not going to do. Whereas a lot of times with photography, they'll change a whole bunch about you. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I learned how to enhance you and get rid of certain stuff without it being a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you're able to move people around?
Yes.
As well? That's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. Like, I really, really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going through a little bit of your work, you seem to have developed like your own sense of style, especially when it comes to just enhancing the person and not altering the person, but just enhancing the person. I think that's very dope, and it's very unique as well. So kudos to you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you could mentor a young person who wants to get into photography and graphic design and so forth, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to make their art their art. Mm-hmm. Don't copy anybody. Don't try to base it off of somebody else's work, and don't compare yourself. Always look at because when you look at artists, their art, there could be a splatter of paint and it's beautiful. And then there could be a whole Picasso painting and it's still beautiful.
Yeah.
You can't compare. It's the art world is always competitive, but it doesn't have to be. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
I mean, it's just like, I always go back to this bread in the store. There's different types of bread, millions of different types of bread, but the bread sells. So you still have a place regardless.
I heard something like that with the gas stations. All these gas stations, and you're going to get gas regardless.
You're going to get gas regardless, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't think that because you want to do something else that somebody else is doing, you still make it your own, make it personable, make it impressionable. So that way, if someone decides to choose you over them, you have one up on the other person anyway. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Goku or Vegeta?
Vegeta.
Explain.
Okay, listen.
Let's talk about him.
He has so much character development.
He does.
Yes. On top of that, he cares about his family. Mm-hmm. I mean, not saying Goku doesn't, but he got stupider over the years.
Do you think he don't? Do you think he doesn't? Do you think he's a bad father?
He's a terrible father. Piccolo is that man's daddy. Go on. Not Goku.
You know what?
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. He's not a terrible
She has a point.
He's not a terrible father.
He's not terrible.
I would say he's not a terrible father because circumstances and how he was raised and how he grew up kind of dictate how he views the world. However, I'm not giving him a pass because I do believe once you get older and you learn certain things, you kind of have to, adjust in life. But of course, that man is not completely human, so. Yeah.
But neither is Vegeta.
But also Vegeta also has common sense, and he was also raised under, manners and rules, and he was raised like a human child. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, Goku did have potential in Dragon Ball Z, but they dumbed him down. I feel like if he would have stayed that same Goku that he would have been a better father. So
from what I gathered was, I mean, of course, this is all based on speculation because Toriyama himself did not say anything about it, but it seemed more like they were trying to go back to the roots of Dragon Ball, where it was fun-hearted, it was adventure more like, and Goku wasn't a so serious, gotta save the world type deal. He was the funny, stupid to a degree. Go-hearted, making other people happy type character, which I guess I like. At the same time, I don't like at the same time because it's like you're kind of shitting on. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. You're kind of taking a crap on the development he has made. So yeah, definitely, I totally understand when people say they definitely dumbed him down, but when it comes to him being a bad father, I can't really agree, because if I was a father, why are you looking at that like you know something I don't?
Because if Goku,
do you know something I don't?
No, but I'm saying like Goku's not the sort of father you want to be like.
I never said that.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about a man who has the responsibility of making sure the world is safe.
True.
From people who don't even be here, who don't even go here.
The Superman of Japan.
Basically, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when they arrive, they are basically stronger than him. So, yeah, go do your thing so I can see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go do your thing.
And then get revived 1,000 times.
Well, you can't get revived 1,000 times. Okay, that's me being a stickler. That's me being a stickler.
Being dramatic.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we hyperbole sometimes. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm Team Vegeta, 100%.
I realized I really like the storytelling behind Vegeta. I love the storytelling. I love the layers, because I see Goku more as like a flat person, a flat character, where he doesn't change when things happen. He makes other people change, versus someone like Vegeta who changes because things happen to him.
I like that.
Storytelling 101. I like that. Okay, so now we got that out of the way.
Okay, now I do have a question since you brought that up. So as far as graphics are concerned with Dragon Ball Z, is there anything that you would possibly tweak in that?
Okay, I love the graphics for Dragon Ball Z specifically.
Mm-hmm.
When it went to Dragon Ball Super, it got too smooth, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look terrible, but whenever you go from something that's more detailed and kind of like rough to just straight smooth, it's not right. And bolder lines, I'm not fond of it. But they're doing that with a lot of animation recently.
Yeah.
I think that's just becoming the trend nowadays. I miss the 90s animation.
Yes.
Where it felt more natural to be that way, or it felt more realistic.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Like Studio Ghibli films, like they're not as detailed as like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was, but it fit to me. Like I don't see as much. I guess I didn't really see as much shading as I did with like Howl's Moving Castle. There's not that much detailed shading in there like it is in Dragon Ball Z.
Gotcha.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
But it fits with Howl's Moving Castle animation fits for them. So when I see something as detailed like, I guess I don't want to say shonen. Was shonen a word? Nah, I would say as detailed as Dragon Ball Z was. You know, you're talking about rough. You got to see you got to see blood. You got to see scars. Even if it wasn't as graphic as we talk about it, but the fact that you were still able to see it, and you're able to see, it kind of gives you I don't want to say a false interpretation, but it gives you a good sense of realism within imagination.
Yeah.
And then seeing that getting taken away, it really sucks.
It's tragic.
Though, understanding how animation works, I understand they most likely did that for the sake of time convenience. Because getting all that detail in one scene probably takes like close to a whole week. So being able to kind of dumb that down, I totally get it. I totally understand. I just miss it.
It's a little lazy.
Yeah.
Whenever you're trying to give your art to the people, you want it to be your best. You don't want to simplify it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be an animator, you want to give it your all. A lot of them don't get paid enough either, which also changes the way that stuff is interpreted.
That makes sense.
With certain things, I am passionate about how it's changed. I got into a little debate with somebody over it recently where they said, well, it's for kids anyway. Well, even as a kid, we love seeing details.
Is it for kids?
Why?
No.
It's not for details. personal kids, but
well,
it could be depending
it's
on what
family.
you're watching.
I mean, yeah.
Depending on what you're picking, it could be. But it's not.
But for the most part, it wasn't.
It's not
technically made for the kids in general anyway. But that's neither here nor there either. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I've had that same conversation so many times, and we still have these conversations. And it's like, I was like, okay, I get it, right? You're not messing with the visual aspect. Cool. But let me ask you this. If we're telling the same story, but we're throwing real people in there, would you watch it? Probably. So what makes this one so hard?
Yeah.
I think I've grown past it. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because if I knowing the type of person you are, I can tell you what genre you probably like in film, TV, whatever. I can give you something small, something short, yes, something really good, hand it to you, tell you to watch it, and you will actually probably watch it. You will actually probably like it 8 times out of 10. So what really is the issue here?
Yeah.
What's the real issue? But moving along, you the way you talked about that, it actually brought up a question I wanted to ask you. Yeah. And it also kind of plays back and segues from your question about if you were to teach somebody who wanted to get into photography or graphic design and all that, to you as a photographer. First and foremost, because that's who you say you are. Well, not dismissing everything else you've done, but if you were to say, hey, I am D and I am a blank, you're going to probably say I'm a photographer.
Yes.
First and foremost. So in that aspect, what would you say you most value as a photographer as you go through your career? What are your most core values? What do you value the most out of everything?
I value my authenticity. Just because, like I said earlier, I don't want to change anybody. I just want to enhance them. And there are people that are against that. I face them, but at the end of the day, I still want to see people the way that they are, because that's starting to decrease as time goes by. People are living in social media and comparing themselves to everybody else whenever they don't realize that most of those posts have been heavily edited or changed completely. That's not that person. They're still beautiful.
Yeah.
But...
Or they've taken a picture like maybe 15, 20 times before they actually posted one.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So that's my biggest thing. I don't want anyone to feel like they are not as beautiful as they are. Because I believe all of God's creations are made beautifully. So I want to just enhance that. Show you that you're still beautiful. Just look at yourself in a different perspective. Look at yourself through my eyes instead of your own.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing people have a hard time with doing. Yeah.
They're their worst critics. And I'm guilty of that too. But whenever you just sit and think about it, you're like, okay, but I think this person's beautiful. They're saying they're not. I keep saying it. And that's probably the same for me.
Yeah.
Because you can't see yourself the way that everyone else does.
Those are facts.
Yes. You can only see through a mirror or like a camera, but you're never going to look at yourself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then even too, sometimes looking in the mirror, it's kind of a distorted view. Yeah.
It really does add weight to the statement, I wish you can see you how I do. I wish you can see yourself from my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used that line before too, but now that you said it back to me, I was like, dang, actually.
Yeah.
That hits a lot different. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So have you ever looked at like an image on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? You see the image is edited and you were able to dissect every action that designer or editor or photographer made to get to that photo.
Yes. I may not know all of the actions that they made, but I can point most of them out. Just because I work with editing and photography, and I've seen how people edit their photos. It's something that I just can't go past now.
Yeah.
You just scroll through Instagram, you're like, oh, that looks like, anyways. And you just keep scrolling. But
you're able to just critique the finding, like, oh, I think you went a little overboard on this end.
Yes.
And now you gotta try to clean it up over here. And that don't look right. So now you gotta add this little filter.
Their whole face is different. Their whole shape is different. Their mole is gone. Like, a lot of people will get rid of their, like, beauty marks. And like, hold on a second. Last time I saw you had freckles.
Right.
Where did they go?
Yeah.
It's just something that you notice.
Please don't take my moles away there. They're part of me. Don't do that.
Right.
I feel a little called out because I used to do that when I started learning photography. When I was in school and I had to take photography classes, I was taught how to edit photos. And what my photography instructor told me was actually the style that you followed, which was only enhance, never alter. Because once you alter, you totally ruined the picture you've taken. Always enhance. And sometimes enhancing doesn't require a lot to do. Just if you see someone who had freckles, because I took a picture of a person who had freckles, beautiful freckles too.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at her in live view and you saw her freckles, you would think you look so beautiful with those freckles. It fits your face perfectly. Of course, I'm new. I didn't see much of anything else. So when I would see him take some freckles off as a demonstration, and to me it looked like, oh my God, you made a masterpiece. I tried to do the same thing. I took too many freckles off.
Wow.
And I was like, that's not her though.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me until later on in life when I started doing other things involving art, where I can now, I'm like you, I can now see something and I'm like, why did you do that? You did this a little too much. If you had probably got it down like maybe 5 notches, I can't do it now. I can't see it now.
Yeah. I try not to critique too bad. It's just something that I naturally do. When I'm looking at stuff, it's like, oh, they did a lot of editing.
A lot of editing.
Yes. But anyway, scroll. For me personally, the main reason is, like I said, because I don't want people to want to change themselves.
Yeah.
But if you look on Instagram at those photos, you'll see, hey, like, this person's probably going through something, or maybe they think this is their beauty. Yeah. And that's why I want to change that with my clients, especially since they're in this area where we're in the South, like RDU, Raleigh, Durham, United, where we have a lot of the Black community who I feel like should really like love themselves more.
Agreed.
Like, love your skin, love all of your perfect imperfections. Like, I love that about everybody. Whenever I meet a new client, I know the first thing I notice is their smile. I love seeing people smile. I love laughing with people, and I love just like seeing how they really are. Because recently I had a shoot where I was trying to make them laugh the whole time, and every time they started like bursting into laughter, I would just straight capture it.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I sent them all those photos and they started crying.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, you okay?
Yeah.
They were just happy because they had those memories of them just straight in their skin, in their happiness, in themselves. Yeah. I love that. That happened then, and it also happened with an engagement shoot. So,
wow.
So that segues into another question I had.
Okay, let's go.
What is your favorite, I mean, you probably already answered it, but hey, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
What is your favorite testimonial ever since you picked up photography seriously from a client?
Can you put that more in detail?
So you had a situation, you taking pictures, and either they loved it or maybe they didn't like it so much, and they gave you like a testimony, like gave you feedback, or they told you a story that really affected them because of the pictures you've taken. Mm-hmm. The work that you've done affected them so much that it stuck with you.
Gotcha. So,
what is your favorite, or what is the one that has stuck with you?
So there was a young girl. Well, she wasn't that much younger than me. I was maybe 23. I'm 25 now. Okay. So I was 23 at the time, and she was maybe like 20. I took some photos of her just to really, practice and like get out there. Sent her the photos once I was done doing my small edits, and she sent me a paragraph saying how thankful she was to me because she had so much fun during the shoot.
Yeah. Nice.
Like during that photo shoot, we were laughing a lot. I had her, I had myself on the floor because usually if I take shoots, I'll try to get every angle. I'll roll on the floor. I'll jump on top of something, almost falling. I'll start like hopping from chair to chair. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
So I ended up rolling on the floor and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get every angle." Shh, wait. So she's over here like, okay, what do I do? I'm like, wait. Hold on, I didn't think that far. But I remember that the whole time I was just playing around with her, getting her to laugh, trying to get those moments where I could just like have her like cover her smile and then catch her smile.
Yeah.
And I sent all of that to her. Of course, I had the photos that were going to be used for her Instagram or whatever, but I also have the ones where it's just you being you.
Yeah.
She appreciated that I captured those moments because she didn't realize that her smile could be that big. And she just appreciated that experience, getting the photos done and just having fun with somebody.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do for everybody.
I feel like she was talking to me there for a second. Jeez. No, because I realized that when I do photo shoots, and photography and photo shoots should always be fun, but I'm always on the serious side of everything, and there's like barely any, like maybe a small amount of photos that have me smiling actually. So yeah, I just felt like you were like just jagging on my side, like smile more. But yeah, photography should be fun. Yeah,
I try to make anything that I do fun just because I was in that spot before where I didn't smile like that. Yeah. And I have a whole bunch of photos of me just looking angry.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, let's change that.
Let's do something a little different.
Let me do a little switcheroo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love smiles, and I love the way that people's eyes shine whenever they're genuinely having that fun.
Yeah.
So I make it more of a like experience in a photo shoot.
Nice.
Yeah. If that answers the question.
It did. All right, so now we've covered the best or the favorite. Let's cover the worst. What was the worst experience you've had taking pictures?
I don't know if I can say the worst experience because they might be watching this.
You don't have to use their name.
Oh, they're gonna know who they are.
Well, we don't know who they are.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know.
Jimmy John.
Okay, Jimmy John.
Jimmy John was my client.
Okay. And
Jimmy John had so much attitude. And usually I just think about it like, hey, maybe they had a bad day. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Everyone has their days. Mm-hmm. But Jimmy John wanted to keep on making everything negative during the photo shoot.
Wow.
So they said, maybe you should do it from a different angle. I don't feel like my hair looks good. Let me go to the bathroom. So they had to switch everything. Once the photo shoot was done, I was just drained. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I'm over here trying to smile with you and you just angry. I gotta go. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to say some things that I'm gonna regret. So once I was done, I did my editing, sent it to them, thought it was done. It wasn't finished. Oh. They had complaints saying that I should have gotten rid of their rolls, their neck rolls, and should have gotten rid of the fat on their sides, and I should have gotten rid of like something else, their acne. They said
they didn't ask you to do that?
No, they didn't. But I said, hey, I can fix some of that, but I'm not going to fix all of that. And they're like, why? I'm paying you, am I not? So I fixed some of it, not all of it, because that's still against my value.
Yeah.
So they were still mad, saying how I was supposed to be their photographer. And instead I just took photos. She said, even I can do that. So
But you did.
So you're supposed to give them a makeover behind the camera.
An entire makeover. Like, wanted everything changed. Their hair changed, their eyes, their face. That's not you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's a completely different person. So I ended up saying that I'm not going to do any more edits to this. I did what you paid me for, and I had already given a discount, a major one, over $100 off, which isn't a big deal, but it's still like, hey, you're asking for way too much now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even just that. You're trying to change yourself. And I know that you're probably going through something internally. And I feel bad for you going through that. But no, that's against my values, and I told you that.
Yeah.
That went on for weeks.
Wow.
Yes. Very bad experience.
I'm sorry that you went through that.
It's why I'm the way that I am.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not going to do anything that's going to change you. Yeah.
I respect that 100%. Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
What gets me is the fact that they didn't even give you kind of like that forewarning. Not forewarning, but like, hey, do you think you can like edit this a little bit extra or edit this a little bit extra because I'm insecure about it. Like, I'm pretty sure if they brought that up, you'd probably been more inclined to do it. But
I didn't even see any imperfections when I was doing the edits because, like I said, I see everyone as beautiful.
Yeah.
If I would have seen like super big neck rolls or anything, I would have probably asked like, hey, do you want certain things changed?
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything that I thought would be a big deal. It was something. It was that moment where you see your own.
Yeah.
Come on, Jimmy John.
And that should have been a total discussion that you all had way before the day of the shoot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if that was the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it still went well.
Yeah.
Now, like, I guess a little devil's advocate, only a little bit, because I'm not on Jimmy John's side. I can. Yeah, Jimmy John, I'm not on your side, bro. You wildin'. Now, I can say devil's advocate enough. If I'm going in and I have this expectation going in that my photographer is gonna do this, because maybe I've seen photographers who have done it, and that's giving me the expectation that's what you would do. Oh yeah, I can see how he would kind of be a little antsy, be a little I can't say these words, but but all in all, I'm definitely glad you stand on your morals. You stand 10 toes on your business. Jimmy John, he can go find somebody else.
Yes, there's actually something that I thought about whenever you said that. So people do compare me to other photographers that do make really big enhancements. It's not even enhancements anymore. It's just changes.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they'll think that the photos that I do take are that changed. Just because, like, some of my edits do look like, hey, like, wow, this person is so beautiful. But it's because of the lighting or because they were in the right spot.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're still beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, when you're already beautiful and you're in the right, like, area, boom, the best photo I've ever taken.
Yeah.
So I try to tell people ahead of time now, like, I'm not doing a whole bunch of edits because of that experience that I had. I'm not doing edits like that. I just want you to be beautiful and lovely in your own skin. If you have a problem with that, then I can recommend another photographer that I know that would be able to do those enhancements. But I can take the photos for you, but you can get them edited from somebody else. And then it'll be a little bit cheaper.
Has that happened?
No.
Good shit.
Yeah. Most of the people are really chill and like, oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
But you always get one rotten apple.
Of course.
It's always going to be one.
Always one.
It's always going to be
And
one.
it was only one for me.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Jimmy John, I hope you feel better, bro.
I doubt it.
I hope you feel better from
Jimmy
whatever is
John,
bothering you, because that was crazy on your
Jimmy
way.
John's never gonna feel better.
Well, I'm like, hey man,
This
I'm on her
Scrooge.
side. I'm on her side.
Or the Grinch.
Both. The Grinch.
So what is the booking process like when it comes to your business?
So I actually just edited my website so that you can book through there. But most of the time it's word of mouth.
Okay.
Where someone might hear from somebody else about me and they'll send me a DM or they'll just shoot me a text. Like, hey, this person sent me your number. Do you think you can do this? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty simple. just, DM me, text me, or go to the site and book it. But most of the time, it's just send me a text.
So since you put that out there by DMing and your website, can you tell the audience your social medias and your website, please?
Instagram is abstractroyalty_photography, and my Facebook is also Abstract Royalty Photography. And the number you can find on the website, which is also on the Instagram.
There you go.
Okay, clock that. And other questions? Anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah, what's a hot take you have about photography itself? What's a hot take?
Hot take?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What would be a hot take on photography?
Just your personal opinion, maybe an unpopular one.
With photography, it's really about your eye. For me, like I try to say for me personally, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
But for me, I know with my photography, I work more so on knowing that I can always do better.
Okay.
You're never perfect. You can always do better, or you can always have different gear and really like put into your business. So right now I'm working towards, getting more batteries for my camera. I got to get more lighting. I have plenty of lighting, but there's never enough. And one day I do want to own my own studio. That way I can really rent it out to the community.
Yeah.
For not too much, because there's some places that charge you an arm and a leg just to rent out a studio, I've seen. But I want to be able to give other young photographers that are learning in college an opportunity to play with lighting and learn how to do it. So that would be really cool for me. But also I do, like with photography, I want to work on just putting more art into it. Because like I said, I was an art major.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to put everything into what I love. The art that I learned, that like graphics, the typography, like all of that. I've already reached out to a few magazines and they've helped me a lot too by saying like, hey, you can come over here and just watch us and see how we do it. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm just real curious about this. So I know that you work with animals before as far as veterinarian and so forth, but with taking their pictures, their images. So how does that work? Now, mind you, I know that animals have astounding personalities.
Yes.
So they will pause for the camera. I've seen this in person myself. So how was that?
So I also worked in a daycare for a while.
Yeah.
So animals are like children.
Okay.
Like toddlers. They can't sit still. They don't know what you're trying to say, but they just want to give you kisses and like, hey, let's, whatever you're talking about, let's move. So I just gotta go off of that.
Yeah.
Like I'll play with them. I'll roll on the floor, which is what I do with people. That's probably because I worked in the daycare too. I just like play around a lot. But with the animals, it's like you play with them. You're like, sit, treat, sit, treat, treat. And you just catch them whenever they're looking at you, or you get their owners to hold something up so they're distracted because they have a little bit of ADHD too. So
They do.
You just gotta catch it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say. You just gotta catch it.
Animals are really animated, like seriously. I remember it's a while ago now, but I remember we were in Fayetteville and doing a photo shoot for a young lady, and there were geese everywhere, and the geese were getting closer to us. And I'm like, because I was just playing with the camera myself. Like, let me take a picture of the geese. So the geese stopped and paused for me to take the picture. I'm like, oh, is this really happening? I wish I had the image now to be able to show people. But yeah, it literally paused.
I actually have one like that I took last week.
Really?
Because there was a bunch of geese in the area that I was in because I had just finished eating. Pulled over, started taking photos of them, and one just kept on like moving like, you see me?
Yeah.
You got my good side. Caw-caw. But
I love it.
I do that with a lot of animals. Birds usually because they have so much personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I
I gotta send it to you too.
Please do.
It's really cute.
I would love that.
I have a whole bunch of just the geese.
Sorry, I got stuck on caca.
I forgot. They say that like, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that sound. Caca. That sounds a little bit more camera safety.
Yes.
Camera safety.
Enhancing.
Yeah.
Edited.
It's very enhancing.
No, speaking of which, like you've also take some really amazing self-portraits.
Mm-hmm.
What inspires you to take those kind of pictures? Like, what's the inspiration behind those?
I randomly get the urge in the middle of the night to just take photos, and I don't have another person to take photos of, so I take them of moi. I practice my lighting with myself. I kind of just have moments because I'm also trying to, do more videos where it shows my personality for the same reason I was talking about earlier, where, people are more fake online. Mm-hmm. I started making a whole bunch of TikToks and stuff, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take photos too and then see how that goes. And I already have logs, so it's like, let's do it. I be having myself up all the time. Like, okay, I can do this. Yeah. Then I can tell the same thing to my clients. Like, oh, you can just move like this, because I've already done it when I was in the bathroom by myself, just taking photos with sheet up. Yeah. I'll put a sheet up in the bathroom, get my camera set up, take the photo, and then it looks like it's at a studio or something. Nice. If y'all have looked at my Instagram. I do more edits with my photos, though, because then I can play around, have creative freedom to put stuff in the background, just play around with lighting, post it, see how it does, get some feedback from other people. Boom. Yeah.
And that's also makes a good photographer too, that the ones that are able to put the models in certain angles to get their better angle, to get the better lighting, because some photographers don't do that. Yeah. They just go and they shoot. And then whatever images the person gets is what they get. Yeah. But then you have those photographers that actually take the time. Hey, let me put you here just a little bit. The sun is on this side. Let me move you to that side so it won't be a glare on your images and so forth. Yes. Yeah, so that's very appreciative as well. Yes.
I mean, I always found the feat to be from being able to make something out of nothing. Yeah. It's like a feat like no other. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're able to do that is really wild. It's cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, check out my other Instagram, Dedra.co, DEDRA.co.
Okay. You're gonna get all the animation over there.
Listen, yes, sir. Because like what you were saying before, with my portraits, I try to have some fun. Yeah. Make it into something that's just not, hey, scrolling, seeing the same photo back to back of people, taking the same photo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want it to be, what did she do this time? Yeah. Like, why is that there? Just like, what sort of edit did she do, or what sort of area did she take this photo in? Mm-hmm. I just want it to be fun. Right now, I'm doing a lot of black and white too.
Okay. Black and whites are nice.
Yes. Yeah. I'm playing with a lot of black and white. So.
I guess when it comes to that, it's got to be like a hit or miss, right?
Yes.
Especially when it comes to being animated. Mm-hmm. Now I know one thing that definitely was a miss was Shrek.
Oh, that was a miss.
That was
It's a debate online currently, because regular people that don't have artistic eyes don't see the difference in the old Shrek and the upcoming Shrek 5 from the teaser trailer. But that's what it is, a teaser. They're probably going to change it. Mm-hmm. But it's Mucinex Crude's ripoff.
That's a hard jab. Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. Like, it's smooth. And for me, I can tell all the details that was changed just from like looking at it real quickly. Yeah. Shrek got a egghead. His eyes are closer together. Donkey, he's just completely messed up. But they completely changed like where his details in his face are, like his fine lines. Yeah. They made it softer. Yeah. As well as just changing him. Like, his appearance is supposed to be more like rugged and like ogre, More it's like, oh, a girl. Ah.
Oh my god.
You know what that reminds me of? When they first dropped the Sonic design, and it was awful. Yes. Honestly, I think awful is probably the nicest thing I could say about that. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like they did that as a test to see how people will react to it. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of getting that same vibe with Shrek, just to see how people will react. But I was like, wow, why on earth would you do that? First of all, you shouldn't even make a Shrek 5, in my personal opinion.
Agreed.
Shrek 4 was a good way to end it off. But since Shrek 5 is coming, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
They did get a lot of attention from it too, which is a lot of what the media does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
kind of like testing the waters type deal.
Yeah, see, like, hey, y'all, this movie's coming out. Look how ugly it is. Whether it's negative or positive attention, it's still attention.
It's still attention. Which means they won.
They got that attention. And I give them that. But listen, they better change Shrek.
Real fast. Because that's ridiculous.
And they do say that, like, the online audience is saying, well, why are y'all mad? You're grown and it's for children. Just give it to the next generation. But if you want to give it to the next generation, make a whole new movie or show. You know that the generation that grew up with it is going to be watching it. Because we love cartoons too.
Yeah.
And
not only that, it's Shrek 5. Like, we was there for the context for Shrek 5.
And it also had a lot of hidden, like, jokes, adult jokes in it. Yeah. So it was a family movie. That's what makes it a family movie for kids and for adults that understand what's happening. Mm-hmm. So
they weren't in the trenches like we were. They was not in the trenches like we were.
We went through it. We saw some of everything. Everything's so soft and kid friendly now.
I feel like I'm still picking up things I didn't catch when I was a kid. No matter how many times I see it, like, it's always something different. Which is why I'm like, you don't deserve to have Shrek 5 for kids. That's for me. That's for me.
It is for me, not for the children.
You can bring them along. I don't recommend it, but you can bring them along.
They did that with Lion King too. If you saw the series where it focuses on his son, they changed the animation and also
I noticed that.
Changed the feel of Lion King.
Yeah.
But later on, it got a little bit more serious, and that's when a lot of the adult audiences started coming back. Mm-hmm. The animation was still throwing me off, but that's how you say, hey, it's still family friendly. Come back. Come to our studio, watch. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be most of the adults that are going to give you our money and our attention.
Yeah.
Because the kids, they watch Cocomelon. Like, they watch Cocomelon.
Which is always so interesting because what I learned through advertising is that your audience may be like, you may be making your product for kids, but your target audience is really who's bringing the kids there. Mm-hmm. So you have to figure out a way to cater to the parents and adults as well, to give them even the idea to be okay with letting them see your product.
Yes.
And you don't do that. You just say, hey, it's for kids. Let kids do the work. No, get the parents. Mm-hmm. And let the parents be like, I think my kid will like that. I think that's cute. Here's my money.
Because remember, we grew up with Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Mm-hmm. Ed,
Ed, Nettie. Mm-hmm. Like, everything that was more detailed and had a darker meaning, but we were glued to it. Our parents were glued to it. Mm-hmm. The whole family was just having bonding experiences, watching stuff that, everyone
Cartoon
could
Network
watch.
was crazy work anyway.
Yeah, it was. We turned out okay.
We did.
We turned out good.
Yeah.
I think we turned out pretty great. Not just good. Shoot. I think we turned out pretty great.
Exhibit A.
Those next in line, I ain't too sure.
Just a little questionable.
Generation Alpha? Is that the next one?
I don't know, man. I lost track after us.
Yeah.
The Cocomelon Felons.
We can call it that too. That works.
That's a new one.
Yeah. But we ended up growing up with, like, detailed animation. We grew up with stuff that had a lot of meaning and lessons behind it. Yeah. And a lot of that has gone away. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Being serious, you look at some of the old stuff we used to watch, and we can still watch it now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whereas you look at some of the stuff that the kids are watching now, and it's more so dumbing down their brains. Because we had Ed and Eddie, and we also had Tom and Jerry, which is, still kind of like, but at least like, you look at some of the stuff now and it's like, okay, this is more, what is this? What are you trying to say? And then the kids take from that, and what happens next? Because they're already really intelligent. The new generations, they have technology. They have a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't have. So these intelligent kids are taking these dumb shows and running with it. Whereas us, we went with like what we had.
But we was able to create and forge out of that.
Yes.
I don't want to say taking scraps, because those shows were gems.
They were
gems in the rough.
They were.
But because we grew up where technology started, so we was able to kind of maximize on both ends, right? I feel like it's kind of purposely going in a regression where there's more given to you, but what you're getting,
you're receiving out of it. Yeah.
Because I would say, for me, back in the day when I watched Ed and Eddie almost like religiously. Big Ed told me I don't have to be super, super focused about everything all the time. Double D taught me it's actually cool to be intelligent and to be smart and to be something and have passion in something that's not necessarily popular. Eddie, that dude's all about business. Anything you can do to make $1, go for it.
Yeah.
Those are attributes that we now have in life that we need to survive. What attributes do these new shows have?
Nothing close to compared to that at all.
A good example, SpongeBob is still running.
But
SpongeBob from whenever we were younger to SpongeBob now, you can see how much has changed.
It's a whole different.
Watch the first episode. Watch the first episode of SpongeBob. What am I saying? It's not English. Oh my gosh! Watch the first episode.
See,
watch SpongeBob.
You did that to her.
Watch SpongeBob, the first episode, and then the most recent episode now, and you'll see a complete different show.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
dumber. Like SpongeBob lost a whole bunch of what made him in the beginning.
Yeah.
And of course, you can change with time. Like, change is inevitable. But look at the recent thing, and it's like, what are the kids learning other than more jokes and more? I don't even know what it is. It's just,
I don't know.
It's just something.
No idea.
It's not entertainment. Well, to me, it's probably entertainment to the new generation. Gotta give them that.
Yeah.
But if we would have let them see how certain stuff can still teach you, because SpongeBob had lessons back in the day.
He did.
But it doesn't now. Maybe sometimes, but not as much as it used to.
Wow. I just realized we have not become the back in my day people. We are now those people.
Don't say that out loud.
Y'all didn't catch that. Y'all didn't
It's
catch
there
that.
now. It's there.
Make sure y'all edit that part out. Back in my day, we didn't have those things.
We still fun though.
This is true.
We're amazing. It's just gone downhill. And our generation, we went through a lot of change.
Yeah.
With technology, with having Facebook as our first real
Platform.
Was it really?
I mean, it was
It
more
was
like
MySpace and a few other things, but
it was a vehicle for sure. I mean, of course, I believe MySpace, Skype, AIM, AOL. You know, they walk or they crawl, so Facebook can walk, so they can run.
yes. So we started with like certain animation styles and like the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
Where people had passion for that, like how for an example, Snow White. That was hand-drawn and everything was just from scratch.
Yeah.
You look at something like that where they loved what they do and it was something new. Like everything was a first to now where we're just so used to everything that it's like, it's whatever. This is a whole new show, blah, 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 blah. It's not new. That passion has decreased. Not for everybody, but for like studios it has. They just want money. A quick buck.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
And it's crazy because sometimes you can kind of tell the creators themselves don't want to do that, but they don't have much of a choice. And we receive that. We can tell that.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And in America, you look at Japan or China, and you see how they don't get paid as much, but they still put that detail and heart into their animation.
A lot of work into their animation.
A lot of work.
Yes, a whole bunch. For them not to really get as much for it. So I feel like we could maybe go back to our roots with this. You know, change is still, good. But
just as like a new foundation for what's to come.
Yes.
Agreed.
Like, just because you're moving on doesn't mean you have to necessarily discard what came from. I mean, because you kind of can't. Everything pretty much is trickled down from what happened in the past anyway. So just putting more focus back on what we've learned and where we came from and how we started, and then use that as the vehicle to make something better than that.
Yes, because imagine how much money they'll make.
Exactly.
If they went back to like hand-drawn animation or, just putting more heart into it.
Yes.
They think they're making more money by making it quick, but you put more heart into something and create a masterpiece, something original, not just a copy with the same animation as every single other film.
Yeah.
Boom.
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 No,
and
I agree.
Something reoccurring that you've been saying, I'm going to add to that. You can't recreate the wheel, but you can enhance it.
Yes.
That's really all you can do. Yeah. But still make it look like the wheel. Just
yes. You
throw
don't
some
have to
rims
change
on
the
it.
whole thing.
Something like that. Yeah.
Throw some sparkle on that.
Exactly.
Some sparkle.
Glitter.
Some sparkle.
Sprinkles. Yeah.
Salt Bae.
Yeah.
Salt.
Anything else that you
Actually,
have questions?
No. I'm good right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kyle does not have any more questions.
No.
Wow.
I mean, if I do, we're going to be here for who knows how long, and we're going to go off topic, and it's not going to be about photography no more. So I think it's best to cut it here.
Yeah.
True. Well, we want to thank you again for joining us. We had a ball with this one, just the same way we had a ball with the first one.
Yeah.
I want to thank you. Anything else you want to leave with the audience?
Book with me. D. That's it.
All right. And with that being said, we are Visually Speaking. I'm Kyle Martin.
I'm your hostess with the mostest, Shawna Fitzgerald.
And
I am Diavione, aka Deidre.
we are signing off. Until next time.
Bye.